love lessons from romantic movies that do not have a place in 2018. Hashtag not in 2018. Hashtag are you serious? Hashtag thank God for sarcasm. Please welcome Bob.
Mr. Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. How many of you would honestly confess that they waste too much time watching television? Come on, be honest. How many of you would waste time watching romantic comedies? Boys, you can admit, no problem. I love romantic comedies and all the Disney movies. And I love them because they're ultimately the best thing to do on a lazy Sunday afternoon. However, ever since I started to reevaluate everything I see early in my 20s when I moved to this country, I've been thinking about the messages and lessons that we learn from romantic comedies and Disney movies. And today I want to talk to you about three main lessons. So we'll be covering lesson number one is just remember how unimportant your personality is. Lesson number two, abusive and unhealthy relationship is the way forward. And lesson number three is the only way to make a happy ever after is to find your significant other. How many of you remember, it's a classic 80s romantic comedy, the two actually. Grease, Damo mentioned that, classic, and Breakfast Club. The lessons we learn from it is that we all have to forget who we are, what we like, what our personalities and what our hobbies are. Because the only way to secure a relationship and find a man, quite frankly, is to change the way we look. Because ultimately, that's the only way that's important. So, using those two classic 80s, I'll give you two examples. It was Alison from Breakfast Club and Sandy from Grease. What did they both do? They completely changed the way they looked. Alison was a god. What's wrong with that? She was who she was, she liked it, she embraced it. But Andrew, who's a footballer and obviously in American high school a superhero, wouldn't like her like that. So she went through a makeover, and from a very cute god, she became this sexy looking girl. Well, is it okay to change completely who you are, to leave behind your personality? Sandy, on the other hand, she was nice, girly, she came from Australia to pursue Danny, who completely ignored her, because that's what you do. You ignore people that you actually have feelings for. So she went through this makeover, and from a nice girl, she became this vamp that completely didn't suit her personality. She looked horrible, and she started to smoke. So remember, lesson number one from romantic movies is to completely change the way you look, because personality is not important. That brings me to my second point, which is abusive behaviour. So, first of all, you change completely the way you look, and then you accept somebody who abuses you and treats you with silent treatment, to be fair, and play games with you, and there's a handful of examples. So let's start with Sex in the City and Mr. Big. He lifts Samantha on the altar. I mean, quite frankly, she's wearing a weird hat, so I don't blame him. But nevertheless, you don't do that to somebody, do you? And Twilight, Edward left. He wouldn't talk to her at all. I mean, Bella, come on, she needed to be comforted by Jacob. And you don't just disappear from somebody's life like that. But, ultimately, the message here is that this is the way forward. This makes you secure a good relationship. And that kind of links to my third lesson, which will be the only way to secure a happier afterlife is to find a husband. And this mostly applies to women, because the romantic comedies sadly are kind of made for women to sit there and evaluate their lives. So I'll give you some examples. All Disney movies end up with marriage. I mean, did Cinderella have to marry a prince? I mean, you have to sacrifice a life for a husband, because, quite frankly, Little Mermaid, she sacrificed her voice, because, speaking to people isn't important, but having a husband, on the other hand, is the most important thing in life. 27 Dresses, I don't know if many of you have seen that, but the story is that it isn't okay to be a bridesmaid for 27 times until you actually become a bride yourself. So, I actually thought about those lessons and took on board and reevaluated everything and decided, no, this is not happening in 2018, people. We need to embrace who we are. We need to kind of not change for anybody. And I think it's important to remember that we all deserve to be happy, whatever happy looks like to people. Having a husband or wife or career or anything that people want is all subjective and it's all different. I'm not going to be happy if I don't have a career, but if I don't have a husband, I might just survive. So I'm going to go against romantic comedies on Disney movies, and I'm not going to have a happy ever after with a man. So I would like you to take from this on just the one point, just be happy with yourself, and if you're happy with yourself, then miracles will happen. Thank you.